Hi, welcome. In this lesson, we are going to look at security issues in LLM applications. When building applications with large language models, security is no longer just about protecting databases or securing endpoints. It's about defending the AI itself from malicious instructions. This tutorial provides a comprehensive guide to implementing a multi-layered defense strategy in Spring AI, ensuring your application remains resilient against prompt injection attacks, data leaks, and policy violations. In coming lessons, we cover following essential patterns: input validation and structured inputs, prompt separation, we separate system instructions from user prompts, output moderation, advisor based security, such as PII masking, prompt injection guards, and rate limiting. By implementing these patterns like input validation, PII masking, injection guard, prompt separation, output moderation, and rate limiting, we make our application secure. In this tutorial, let's have first look at input validation. I will navigate to Visual Studio Code. I'll create a new controller. I'll name it security controller. I'll annotate this with REST controller. I will define a get mapping for input validation. In this input validation, we will try to do two types of validation. First, we will do message length validation. That is the prompt, whatever we are going to get in this API request. The prompt message, whatever we are going to get, we will check for the length of that message and we'll define a safest length, let's say 5000 characters. If the message length is longer than 5000 characters, we will reject the request. The second type of validation we do here is we will define some keywords. If the request message contains those keywords, we will reject the request. First, let me define the method signature. I have named the method save chat and the API chat slash save. We are expecting a string parameter, that is message. Before we proceed, we have to initialize chat client. Let me define the chat client field and also a constructor to instantiate this chat client. As I said earlier, we will look for some specific string patterns in the message. So I'll define some specific patterns like drop table, delete from, ignore previous instructions, forget rules, ignore all instructions, disregard. We will not go ahead with that request. We'll send error to the user. First, I will check for the input message length. If it is longer than 5000 characters, I'll send error to the user. The one more validation we are going to have here is look for these words in the message. First, I will convert this message to uppercase and I will look for these specific defined patterns. We named it suspicious patterns. So if the message has any of these patterns, then also we will not go ahead with the request processing. We will send the error to the user. So in this case, we are just adding these two validations. Similarly, you can use any validations that is needed for your use cases. If the message is not lengthier than 5000 characters and do not have any suspicious pattern, whatever we have defined here, then only we go ahead and invoke chat client. Chat client dot prompt dot user, we pass the message, then call, then extract the content. We assign this extracted content to a string variable. I'll call it response. Once we have the response, I will log a message and then return the response. Let me build the application and run. Let me navigate to the Postman. I have already added this API here, that is input validation chat slash save with message. Let me first add drop table because this is our suspicious pattern. Now application is running. Let me hit the API. So we got an error saying suspicious content detected. I'll change the message to hi, how are you? Let me send it again. As it is a safe input according to our input validation, as it is less than 5000 characters and also do not have any suspicious pattern whatever we have defined. So this passes the input validation, then it invokes the chat client with the message we provided. So input validation is our first line of defense. It's the cheapest. Before spending a single token on LLM call, we can reject obviously malicious input using simple string checks. Let me wrap this tutorial here. In the next one, we will look at prompt separation.